Guys, it has been far, far too long since we've heard from the one and only Mrs. May. So to try and save this horse crap year of 2020, I found another helping of the Renegade. So much has happened since we last heard from her. She's been absolutely smashing TikTok with her own Renegade dance. She's managed to outlast the other Mrs. May. And now she's got a COVID vaccine. I know she was one of the first. You wouldn't think it to look at her. She is now back in the classroom with Mr. Scroop's school. Let's take a look. The children were doing a project with Mrs. May about life in Victorian times. Doing a project. Straight away, she's just old school. No curriculum this, knowledge organiser that. Just straight up projects. Check out use of ICT as well. Go on, you ravishing enigma. Following the guidance too, all the kids in rows. Gavlar would be proud. Can't say much about the plants here, but I reckon that's a metaphor for the energy levels of staff at this point in the term. Life was hard for lots of children. Most children didn't have new shoes or go to school. Oh look, she's got her own Boris Johnson, Bojo the clown doll in the classroom. And who the hell is that guy? If that's an inspector, you know what Mrs. May will do. School was very different too, said Mrs. May. The teachers were very strict. You know one of the children here will throw out an absolute burn. Is this when you went to school then, miss? Mrs. May just laughing it off while thinking, you little sod. That's you on negative dojo points, you cheeky little dosser. Come back when you can tie your own shoelaces without your mum's help. Is it true that the teacher could frighten the children with a ruler? Frighten? Violently abuse more like? Look at the Renegade here. This is bringing back some memories. I've seen some things. But it wouldn't surprise me if she liked it, to be fair. Tell you what, she's defo read 50 Shades, loves a bit of S&M, the cheeky little minx. She's probably the reason they invented the shatterproof ruler. Too many being shattered on her sweet derriere. We're going to Duke History Park tomorrow, said Mrs. May. We will see what it was like in Victorian schools. So whilst every school is unable to do trips due to the corona pandemic, the Renegade waits for no man. What an absolute legend. If you don't go the full hog and get in costume like Mrs. May here when you go on a school trip, don't even call yourself a teacher. I mean, look at the head here, he's not made an effort, but to be fair, he's probably not taught in years. Mr. Scroop will be your teacher today, and my teacher tonight. She's definitely thrown out her Insta handle. Hit me up on the DM, Mr. Scroop. Scroop had a suit and gown on. These are the rules, he said, no excuses. Now we'll sing the school song, said Mr. Scroop. What's the tune? Use the music. Will you show us how? Be quiet, shouted Scroop. Tell you what, this is like Michael Gove's wet dream, this school, isn't it? I reckon he must have read this book before he overhauled the whole education system. What is 8 times 3 plus 2? Asked Mr. Scroop. You in blue. Look at the relief on Biff's face. She's wearing blue as well. She's like, thank God it's not me. I'm confused, said Chip. Use your head, yelled Mr. Scroop. L for love. Imagine if it was just, you loser. Also, how do you use your head to be confused? I'm confused. Where's Mrs. May, by the way? I reckon she's just in the teacher's room, TikToking. Oh, here she is. It was playtime. Mrs. May showed them how to play with hoops. Hoops, you say? I reckon she's like, let me tell you about this summer I worked out in Benidorm with a lovely friend called Vicky. She showed me a thing or two with some hoops. Chip threw a ball and it hit a boy called Matthew. A few of the children ran to help Matthew. The ball flew out of my hands, said Chips. Oh, come on, that's one of the worst excuses. That's nearly as bad as, I didn't hit him, he just walked into my fist. Look over there, called Wilf, pointing. Don't be so rude, boy, said Mr. Scroop. Don't interrupt me while I'm ogling the Renegade. And look, here's Cristiano Ronaldo chewing a gown. Mr. Scroop ran to rescue his gown. He took the goat back to the field next door because, you know, most schools have a field of goats next door. He wiped his face. You children not so useless. Talk about a backhanded compliment. And what is the caretaker doing here? Just checking up because he's jealous of Scroop and the Renegade getting it on. Phew, said Wilf, what a day. You did well, said Mr. Scroop. I like your school better. So, the moral of the story here, guys. Mrs. May has not only helped the children learn about school in Victorian times, she's bagged the day with a male dominatrix and managed to get all of the class to appreciate how good it is to be in her class. Long live the Renegade.